7 years ago, a merchant who purchased medicinal herbs came to the village and was warmly welcomed. He was able to purchase medicinal herbs from the villagers at a reasonable price. However, after he left, everyone discovered that the money they had received was all counterfeit. Pam was one of the people who sold them medicinal herbs. He didn't want to be screwed after 2 years of hard work collecting herbs, so he went to the merchant's house to get his money back. However, 3 years had passed and Pam had not returned. When the villagers learned that he had died in a foreign land, Pam's wife couldn't take it any longer and jumped into the well to commit suicide. When the village chief finished telling the story, Anton felt a pang of sympathy but no less fear. So the woman he met in his dream had to be Pam's wife. Suddenly, the village chief pulled a wooden stick from his belt and a few villagers with knives and sticks burst in through the door, asking Anton to let them check his bag. Anton immediately refused, but the villagers eventually subdued him. A villager handed over his money bag to the village chief. When the village chief and some young men took the money from Anton's bag, they discovered it was all counterfeit. When his deception was exposed, Anton began to cry, pleading with the villagers to spare him. Of course, the villagers were unconcerned by his words. They despised scammers because of what happened to them 7 years ago. The village chief was the most enraged because he was Pam's father. He swung his wooden stick angrily at Anton, imagining his son being murdered by scammers. Anton was hit in the head with a stick before he could react. The stick immediately struck his head, splattering blood everywhere. In fear, Anton begged the village chief, but he was now completely transformed into a different person. He approached Anton slowly by an enraged expression. It appeared that the village chief was attempting to avenge his son by killing all of the scammers. He raised his stick again and struck Anton hard on the head. After being knocked unconscious, Anton was ruthlessly thrown off the cliff by the villagers. Anton miraculously avoided death. He then reported the incident to the police and was sentenced to prison for using counterfeit money. Those people who were with murder plots in Damgon village were also punished by law.
This horror story tells of a strange encounter between two worlds. My grandmother's family had 3 sons. The youngest son was 14 years younger than me, and I often played with him when I was a child. We had a very good relationship. When my youngest uncle was 26, he fell in love with a teacher from the next village. The two were a perfect match, and before long, they had set a wedding date. At that time, I was on my summer vacation and a bit bored at home. I came up with an idea to ask my mother if I could go and stay at my youngest uncle's house. My youngest uncle loved and cared for me very much. Although he was very busy during that time, whenever he had a spare moment, he would come and play with me for a while. He would also bring out many snacks like melon seeds and chestnuts. He told me to eat them while watching TV. In short, the days at my uncle's house were much more fun than at home.